Live. Done. Okay. So we are actually live. Do you believe it?
Wow.
Wow.
Exactly. Wow. We are live. Hi, John. Hi, Janelle. How are you?
Good. How are you, Mayor?
Very good. Doing a lot of webinars, a lot of Facebook Lives, a lot of communication, and working on making this area of the universe a little bit more sane.
I like it. That's a novel concept.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting concept. Yes. Yes. So what are we going to talk about today? What's the subject?
Well, I had some questions about family and kids.
Yeah, that's good. Let's start.
Perhaps you didn't notice. I know you did. We've got a little one coming in about a month, and so there's a few things that we're wondering about. Just that I know a lot of other people, they go through how do the kids interact with new additions to the family, some of these types of things. Does that make sense?
Anything. I'm ready to answer anything and everything you shoot, and just don't forget to press the play button.
Okay. All right. So, my first question is I've got a 12-year-old and a 3-year-old. How can I get them to help out a little bit more around the house?
Okay. So you will see that there is a very interesting things about children. Children have this viewpoint that there is a hierarchy in life. Mother, father, God, and the rest of the universe. Okay? So they really, 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 really love their mother and father. So if they don't help, it's because one of the two, husband or father or wife, do not actually help.
Okay. Hmm.
You didn't expect that answer?
I feel the bus is backing up over me at this point, or something.
Yeah, I'm not saying who, mother or father, but
Either of us in different
yeah.
ways.
But if the viewpoint in the family is not okay, we're helping and we have a specific thing and we do it with all our heart and we are actually doing it. We're doing our job. We have a job. We're doing it, and we're helping. Then the kids will do the same thing. But if the viewpoint on the family is, look, this is my job. This is your job. I'll help you whenever you need. You help me whatever you need. But there is a job, and that job is very defined and you appreciate it for doing it. And when there is a problem, we're helping you to fix it. That viewpoint has to be so real to you that it will be real to them. Like, for example, if your viewpoint is that you talk nicely to each other, you will see that the children will talk nicely to each other. If your viewpoint that you talk nicely to your parents, the children will talk nicely to you, their parents. So you will see that children is pretty much copy paste, and even if you as a child of your parents did not like your parents, you behave like one of them. Even if you did not like them, you behave like one of them. And of course, there's some modification that you do, but overall, the overall thing, you behave like one of your parents because you admire them so much, even if you don't like them. So the first thing, the first part is change yourself. Change yourself, and your kid will change. I can say that almost any problem with kids has to do with a behavior of the adults that the adults are not aware that they're behaving, but kids have very good observation and they observe exactly what's going on and they behave like their parents.
Okay.
And you will see that, for example, let's say let's say me and my wife, let's say that I'm not helping, or I'm not doing my job, even at work. I'm not doing my job at work, and I'm doing something that I'm not supposed to do, and my wife will argue with me about this, and blah 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 blah. All of a sudden, you'll see that my kids not doing their job at school. They don't like school homework. They don't like this. They don't like to do. They don't like to work so much. They're laughing. They delaying things. They don't, because you don't do that. The law, the big law that it's almost impossible for people to get, is anything that's wrong with your kid started with you. It's wrong with you. Maybe not exactly copy paste, but as close as copy paste as possible. So, but you probably don't see it in yourself. I have a friend, and they have a kid that is really amazing kid and everything. But he has all kind of issues. He has all kind of issues at school, all kind of issues at school. And I talked to them, and they said, well, no, I don't know. And I said, well, it's something to do with the parents. And they said, no, we don't have any problem, and and we I said, good, so how are you doing at work? Well, I hate my boss. I cannot stand him. I go to work just because I have to go, because I cannot not have, especially now with the corona. But if I had the chance, I will leave tomorrow. What do you think? Your child doing the same thing? Do you think he's not hearing it? He doesn't know it. Even if you're hiding it, they know it. Yeah. Because the spirit knows, and the spirit of the kids knows even more. The spirit knows, but the spirit of kids knows even more. So if you have a problem with your kids, the handling will always be change yourself, not the kid. Now, having said that, it doesn't mean that you cannot help the kid, but you first have to have your hands clean, because if you are a thief, you cannot teach people about not to steal. Yes, if you don't do something well, you cannot really teach. You can try, but they will not actually bring results. So clean your hand, then you can actually explain to your children, and you will see that they will change like that. Boom. Okay. As I said, just as a disclaimer, my answers are not what you like to hear, but they're always effective.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy to forget how much of an example that you need to set for your kids. They look at you and they do what you do. So
yeah, because they admire you. They really admire you. So for them, even if you go and start shooting people in the street, they will start shooting people in the street because they think that you are God, above God. Not God. God is nothing next to you.
Okay, next question. We're getting into summertime and kids around more and more, and if they've been out of school for the coronavirus, then they've been home for months. We have a lot of screen time in the house, and between phones, iPads, TV, computers, I hear conflicting information. The kids shouldn't be on the screens, but it's also very convenient to have that as a helper for me sometimes, and I know that it helps John too when we have work to do also. So any solutions that you have for keeping the kids busy, but maybe not on the screen so much?
Yes. So there need to be an agreement in the house of what is an appropriate behavior and appropriate screen time. Okay, and what do I mean? You need to decide to yourself how much you're on the screen. You need to decide that you don't take your phone first thing in the morning, that you have a specific time that you're handling your phone, and otherwise the phone is off. Not on silence, off, not with you. And you'll say, well, but I have a business. Yeah, you have a business, so go to work. At work, you can have your phone. At home, the phone is off unless you want your kids to have their phone and iPad, etc. on. Now, if you will make that as a rule for you, you come home, the phone is off, and every 2 hours you go and you can turn it on for 15 minutes to check messages, etc. Then you can go to your kids and say, look, um, when we're at home, the screen is off, but our job is to work at work. We are using our phones. When you have your job time, which is your playtime, because that's their job time, yes? Because don't misunderstand that their playtime is not a job. You think that their playtime is not their job time. Their job, what you do as production, this is also production for them, because if they play, they're preparing themselves for life. This game, preparing themselves for life. And if you really understand that they're playing in order to prepare themselves for life, you realize that's an okay time for screen time. And you work with them that they need to do that as what do you get? Why do you play this game? How does it prepare you for life? How do you on that screen, how does it prepare you for life? And this is your job. Your job is to play. And you tell them this is your work. Your work is to play. You have a few jobs. One is to play. And then when we come home, we help at home. When we come home, you help at home or at different time, whatever we agree. But their job is to play. Like school and play, this is their job. And the lie is for most parents, they think that their playing time is not important. It is super important for kids to play because it's preparing them for the future. And what your job is to work with them on games that will actually prepare them for the future. So you've got just the game that don't, and there are other games. Hey, hi. Whoa, Jenna. Hello. Wow, hi. So nice to see you. You are growing up. Yes, and beautiful.
Yes. She got a new haircut during the stay-at-home time.
Yeah.
Wow, you are so nice. You know that I love you. Yes.
I'll let you.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Okay, no problem.
That's part of why I was smiling as you were continuing, because I could hear her coming up the stairs to us.
Yeah. Okay. So the point is that their play is work time, their work time. Yeah. And you need to look at that as work time and don't invalidate it. Don't make less of it. Oh, you're just playing. No, you're not just playing. Yeah. You prepare yourself for life. Now, if this will be your real viewpoint, you will see, and if you will communicate to them, this is what you're doing. You're playing. Your play is your preparation for life. It's like when you study, it's your preparation for life. If you take that viewpoint, honestly, not as a game, but if you really understand this is what's going on, you will work with them on coming up with games that will actually prepare them for life. So if the guy is technical, you would find a way to play with him and build things or break things. If the guy is, I don't know, if he likes music, you work with your son or with your child and figure out games that will help him to play or do things. If your guy wants to be an athlete, you do that. But you need to communicate with him and figure out what he wants to give to the world, not what he wants to get from the world.
Yeah.
What he wants to give to the world. And you sit with him and talk to him, and it doesn't happen in 2 seconds. You really have to get into actually communicate with him, actually communicate to your child and figure out what does he want to give to the world. And you will see that although they are small, they can be 3-4 years old. They will know. You just need to be able to talk to them, not like they are useless beings. They are exactly like you. They are as smart as you, maybe sometimes more. The only difference, they have a small body. And since they have the small body, do not mean that they have a small mind.
Yeah.
Small body not means small spirit. And people make a mistake. They think they see a small body and they think small spirit. No, Small body is just a body of a child.
Yeah.
But they have exactly the same feeling as you. They have exactly the same love and hate, and they understand. So you need to sit with them and figure out what do they want to give to the world. And then your job as their trainers, that you really have to look at that you are their coach, not mother and father or policemen or something like that. You are the coach. Yeah. And as a coach, you need to set up good example, and you need to come up with all kind of exercises.
Okay.
You need to come up with exercises. Not imagine that you have a basketball coach that tell the people, go and just play. Play, leave me alone, I'm busy. No. You're the coach, and you need to set up the time for coaching them. And as someone that coaching them, you need to come up with exercises, with drills, with data, with understanding, and you need to coach them.
Okay.
You really have to coach them. You really have to take that viewpoint that what would you want a coach that you pay money to do to you? That's what you need to do to your children. So number one, don't lie and don't invalidate them and tell them, oh, you're just playing. No, that's their work. That's part of their job to play. That's their job. And number two, you need to be the coach and figure out what do they want to exchange to the world. Like, what are they? Are they going to be in the defense, in the attack? Where are they? What are they going? What is their position in the game? You need to figure out with them what it is, and then come up with exercises, drills, and knowledge that will help them. And if you would do that, and if you would be patient, and don't expect it to happen in 2 seconds, because it doesn't happen to you in 2 seconds. Also, you just forgot. If you just be patient enough, you'll see that you'll have the most beautiful, unbelievable, amazing kids in the universe. There is basically a law. There's a law that anything that's wrong with the kid is wrong with the person, with the parent. Not the teacher, not the friends, not the environment, not the TV, parents. If the parents are amazing, which means they understand their role as a parent, or the different roles as a parent, the kid will be unbelievable.
Okay, so a follow-up question to that. On a specific, my son LJ loves to play the piano, and he has a target for something he wants for birthday / Christmas / together, a nice new piano. And so he said, when I do this, I'd like to get lessons. And I'm kind of interested on your point of view of, I've been through a few classes with you on some things, but the idea of lessons versus just kind of playing with it to see what is how he can create, how he can create good sounds and bad sounds, and like, how do I encourage that growth?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So first of all, you really have to sit with him and figure out, is it really something that he can use to give things to the world? That's number one. Number two, if he decides that it is, he needs to contribute to buying it.
Yeah.
He needs to work and contribute in buying the instrument. He doesn't have to pay the whole amount, but he needs to contribute. Okay. And number three, he needs to contribute for the cost of the lessons. Okay. You want lessons? For sure, no problem. Contribute for the cost of the lessons. And the lesson that you get him need to be lessons that bring him wins. The only reason for a lesson is to get you to win. Not to teach you, to get you to win. So a teacher should direct the student to figure out things, not to tell him things, but to figure out things, and make sure that he's winning, make sure that he's actually have win. More important than how much he knows is how much he wins. Because if you win enough, if you have enough wins in the exercises that you do, in the profession that you pick up, you will see you will become the best.
Okay. I like it.
Good.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Good.
Okay. Now, I know you had said with younger kids, 3-4 years old, they know what it is that they want to do. And so when you have an older child and you haven't had that conversation, how can you help them discover for themselves what it is that they want to do?
Okay. So in order for a child to talk to you, you need to create the environment that he will feel safe to talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
If the parents, every time the child talk to you, the parents tell you, don't do that, do that, don't do that, don't do that, do that. And the parents are more like policemen than coach, then they will not talk to you because the environment is not safe. So before you talk to your child, over time, you need to create an environment that is safe to the child. And how do you do that? You tell him, look, I have different hats, and some hats I'm doing that, some hats I'm doing that, some hats I'm doing that. And I will give you a specific time, and in that hat, you are the boss. In that hat, you are the boss. What do I mean you are the boss? You can talk to me about anything and everything, and I will not actually evaluate or invalidate you. I will do anything that I can, either to explain to you what you want to be explained, or to help you if you need help, or to not say anything if you don't want me to say anything.
Yeah.
And it will be the most safe thing in the world, and I will never tell what you told me, and I will never use it against you. And he will not believe you at the beginning, and you will have to earn his trust to sit with him. And at the beginning, you will do all kind of nonsense, but during that time, you have to behave like that. And you tell him this is the start of that time, and this is the end of that time. You define the time. You define it with a start and an end. You don't leave all of a sudden. You define this is the start of your time. This is the end of your time. After that, I'm not acting as that. Okay, and I used to call it Abba time. Yes, Abba time is father. Abba in Hebrew is father. So father time. Okay, so you define this father time or mother time, and you, at that time, you are the person that willing to listen. That you're just willing to listen. You're willing to listen, and it will take some time before they will actually realize that they can talk to you. And if you will go through the process of them getting to trust you, you will see that they will tell you the most amazing thing in the universe. And they will get into such good communication with you that the side effect will be that they will actually listen to you and take from you advice. And before that, they don't listen to you at all. They say they do, but they don't. They only look at you. Okay, do you understand?
Yeah, I follow. I'm looking at it for, is there a window that closes, that if you don't do this by this age, you're trapped? Or is it always recoverable, whatever the relationship is?
Yeah, there's a window when the parent or the child die. That's when it's end. But otherwise, you can always recover it. You can always recover it. It's never too late. It's just, are you patient enough? Are you patient enough, and are you willing to behave to your child as you would want other adults to behave to you?
Yeah.
That's the question. Are you willing to behave to your child as you will want another adult to behave to you? Are you willing to behave like that? Are you willing, when you give him something, to truly give it to him and not tell him what to do with that, how to do it with that? It's yours. Yours. If I give you something and I will tell you all the time what to do with that, you will kill me. Are you willing to behave to him exactly like you behave to someone else? Are you willing to know that he is not your child as ownership? He is your child as you are responsible for him becoming himself. He's not your child as ownership. You understand? Like you can have a wife as I own my wife, or as I help my wife.
Mhm.
Yes. When it's I own my wife, then you own a wife, a car, and a dog. Same thing. But it's incorrect.
Yeah.
You should own a car, help a dog, and maximize the potential of your wife. And your wife should have the same viewpoint as well. And you should maximize the potential of your child, not as you want, as he wants. And if you can get that, you will see that you can do all kinds of things to prepare the environment on a gradient scale, slowly. You don't do that in one day. First of all, you start to tell him, look, it's yours. Second, you need to tell him and really stand behind it. Look, whatever I'm telling you, at the end, unless if you're going to hurt yourself, yes, at the end, your power of decision is more important for me than your study, than your anything. I want you to be able to make decisions by your own. This is what you want, I think, and this is what I want. So for me, I will do anything to make you more more able to decide. So everything I'll do is in that direction. And if you feel that I don't, please tell me, and we will discuss it, and we will fix what needs to be fixed. Okay? And of course, I'm expecting you from you, my child, to do the same like me, to me. Don't force me, yes? And to do that, of course, you need to explain to him, you need to behave like that to him, but to everyone around. You cannot behave to him like that and to your wife differently, or to your mom differently, or to the dog differently. It has to be your viewpoint that you can grant enough importance to others that you understand that their self-determinism is more important than almost anything, unless if it is something really disastrous, like if the guy wants to, I don't know, cut himself, fine, I will bypass it. You get, but it's very seldom that you need to bypass.
Yeah, that's some of the most powerful information that you've given to us. And we've taken some Parent Academy courses with you, and we've seen dramatic changes and dramatic, just so amazing that before we were parents, we had friends that had kids, and you'd see how they interact, and you'd hear people talking about it, and just the point of view of not the joy of being with the family, the joy of being with the children, of being able to do things with them like that is just, it's amazing. And, it's something that I definitely want other people to be able to see and have for themselves too, which is part of the reason why we brought these questions up, because it is, I won't say our children are perfect, but they're far better than I ever expected. And I want them to increase and improve and reach their potential. They have not reached their potential yet, but it's really amazing how, we met you about 7 years ago. Our son is 12. That means that the first 5 years, we didn't know you. We weren't implementing these things that we've learned. And it's been amazing to see how quickly, when he was in preschool, before he got into one of the schools that he's gone to since, he was bored and he had some trouble issues. The instant we got him into a place where he was challenged to succeed, he just took off, and was amazing how quickly the change, like you say, you don't expect it to be instantaneous, but it's amazing how quickly they can, when they are encouraged, how quickly they can grow.
It's definitely the job of the parents to maximize the potential of the child by making him self-determined, not by making the parents self-determined.
Yeah.
And most parents think, well, the child need to put a sweater because the mother is cold. That's not self-determinism, yes?
Yeah.
he need to put or not to put on certain clothes because he is hot or cold. And you need to give him this thing, because if I'll come to you and I'll tell you, if I'll come to any adult and I'll tell you, now you need to put a jacket on. You say, no, but I don't want. Yeah, cold. No, you don't cold. I'm telling you, I'm hot. Oh, I'm cold. So you need to put it on. You will kill me. You'll think that I'm weirdo. Now, why children don't tell you that you're a weirdo? Because they like you. So they don't insult you like you insult them.
Yeah.
But you insult them, or not you, yes, but parents insult the children, people, not anyone that's listening here, only parents in Australia, yes?
Yes.
Not in America or in Israel or in South Africa or in Canada. It's like people in a remote areas.
Yes.
Yes. So parents in remote areas think that their self-determinism is important and the child don't know. And they really believe they don't know.
Yeah.
Like they talked about the child next to another person, insulting the child next to another person. And they don't even consider that it's a problem.
Yeah.
So the issue is you really need to understand, really need to understand that if you love your child, what you need to do is to really make him self-determined, not you. He is important, not you. And while parents say, of course, I'll do anything for my child, other than to make him self-determined.
So what does self-determined mean to you?
Oh, self-determined means make him trust him enough that his decisions are good for him and for others. Don't make the decision for him. And if you need to help him or anything, is help him in the direction of him making a decision, not helping in the direction of me making the decision for him. Very much like if someone worked for you, let's say someone worked for you, okay? And you come and tell him, do that, you created the robot. Yes? You have a robot, yes? And a robot is stupid. And robots don't succeed in life, they deteriorate, yes? But if you have someone work for you and you tell him, look, this is what we want to achieve because this will create so much good for so many people. Do you like it? And he says, yes. Then I will tell him, so how do you think from your post, from your position, how can you contribute to that motion? And he was, I can do this and this and that. And he said, well, what about that? He said, no, I don't like that. Okay, and what about that? Yes, I like that. Okay, good. Is there any other way? No, good. Go for it. Show me the result. Now, if I'll go and I will run after him and tell him, no, let me show you. No. You let them help. You trust them enough. Now, I can say that there's overall the basic lie. I can say that the basic lie with children is that you mix. The definition of the word child is a spirit, exactly like me and you, like a person, normal person, a spirit, with a small body, always with good intention, always, no exception. There's no child that don't have a good intention, and often with bad results. And the basic mistake that parents and adults do, they inspect the result instead of the intention. Yeah. Now, when you look at yourself, when a person looks at himself, he knows that many times the result are totally different than his intention. And he expects people to understand his intention. And he will tell you, look, I didn't mean. I didn't mean to hurt you. I didn't mean to do that. And it's really a valid thing in a relationship. I didn't mean it. I really wanted to help, but I didn't know how, so I messed up, or I had misinformation, so I messed up, or whatever. And it's totally okay with adults. With children, you don't. You don't look at the intention at all. It's like they have no intention. You look only at the result, and like it's insane. Think about it. They're small. You look at the results, they broke something, so you look at the result, you look at the intention, and only the intention, and you ignore the result 100%. If you think about it, to look at child and expect from him a certain result is actually cruel, because they don't have the coordination, they don't have, they're new to this universe. They just came in and they just came from a massive loss, and they just come into this place and they're trying to figure out what's going on. How come they cannot just do something and it happened? And oh, what's this small body? I'm used to much stronger body, and what's going on? And if you understand that, if you really understand that, you'll be very, very patient with children, and you will never judge them by the result. And whatever happened, regardless of how bad it is, sit with them and be nice enough to ask them what was the intention, and believe them that that was the intention, despite the fact that the result will be exactly 180% opposite. 180-degree opposite.
Yeah.
Yes? If you can do that, you will see that there will be no pain for you as a parent, and there will be only joy. And more important, your child will become a productive, loving, contributing part of this society, and he will become a leader, and he will save many, many people because of that viewpoint. And unfortunately, in this time, there are not many leaders in this society. And if you will create one leader, it will be unbelievable. And every person that's listening to this interview actually can do that. Now, if you want to learn more, and you're listening to this, let me just tell you how you can learn more. So number one, you can follow me on Instagram, which is Meir Ezra Official, and just ask me any question you want, and I can send you a free, totally free video about raising children. And it is the most common mistake that parents do with raising children. Totally free, you don't have to pay me anything. I'll send you a video and it will help you a lot. If you want to learn more, if you want to learn more about life, if you want to learn more about you, how to make you more able, all you have to do is to go to www.meirezra.com/yoga, or on Instagram, just go to my bio and you can see the link there and click. And on Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to deliver something that's called The Path to You. It is a webinar that will move all the furnitures in your head. You will discover things that you didn't even know that you need to know. But once you discover them, you will not believe that you actually lived without knowing them. So exceptionally powerful. And maybe you can say the website in proper English.
You want to?
Yes, much nicer. We like her voice.
www.meirezra.com/yoga.
Excellent. Wow. That sounds like English.
Yes.
I just want to say, Meir, we really appreciate the knowledge and information that you have been willing to share with us and with so many other people. It has like such a calming effect on the things that are going on. And there's a lot of craziness that's happening in the world, and people being able to understand each other and being willing to see other points of view is incredibly important. And that's one of the things that's one of the biggest takeaways I've had from your courses is, you know, the opportunity that we have as parents to help our kids and to help those around us, because something can be done about whatever's happening that's going on around you. And you're setting a brilliant example of that for all of us that are actually seeing what you're doing. And I just want to say again, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you for joining me. And I will see you tonight at 3 a.m. in South Africa time, 9 p.m. in your time. Mm-hmm. Yes, we have the inner circle again, just a short short thing.
Yep.
Okay. I love you. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you, everyone. And Amit and Swapna, thank you for organizing it. Shamaya behind the scene that running everyone. And Gali that helps me with everything. Thank you very, very much. And I will see you in a few hours. Mwah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.